Welcome back to the Justin Lee Collins Show. My next guest has taken on Mel Gibson and Giant Asteroids, but he's maybe best known for his role as Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter films. Here's a sneaky peek at the latest movie.
In my life, I've seen things that are truly horrific. Now I know you will see worse. You're the chosen one, Harry.
You have to realize who you are.
You have no choice. Harry, no! You must not fail. It's over.
Please welcome Jason Isaacs. What is it like for you to be part of Harry Potter?
Well, it's lovely. I tell you what's weird thing is that I'm so happy to be associated with it, but it's actually 3 weeks of my life every couple of years. And it's odd that that defines me in the public's eyes all the time, but, you know, I have such a laugh doing it. You know, I can't pretend... We're about to talk in a minute about a very, very serious film I made recently, but you go on that set, and it is just a riot. And there are a bunch of some of the most serious and talented people I've ever met in my life, camping it up something stupid. And we're all, you know, we're all trying to out-ham each other. In fact, I remember the first time I did number 2... Blimey, it's shiny, isn't it? It's like an S&M couch, isn't it? I did number 2, and Ken Branagh was sitting in the makeup chair next to me, and I sat down one day to get my wig put on. He said, "How's it going, love?" I said, "Good, I think I'm a bit big." He said, "Look up at my heels." So, you know... And every time, the first film I was doing, every time I was on the set, the director would come up after a take and he'd go, "That was incredible, it was amazing, wonderful. Can we do another one and maybe pull it back like 85, 90%? So, you know, it just doesn't get more fun, frankly.
Had you read the books before you got the part?
No, they're children's books.
Well, they are. Well, it's true.
Oh, now, come on,
but they are, though. That's true.
No, they're not. It's a lie. I hadn't read them, and I wondered why all my friends were being slightly backward and reading children's literature. And then I was offered these books, and I read them, and they were like crack. I could not put them down. I got the first 4, so I hear. I got the first 4, and I read them. I was up all night. It was embarrassing, you know, walking around red-eyed during the day, driving with them on the steering wheel and all this stuff. And then I finished them. I was exhausted and desperate for more. So I understand why people are so addicted to the books and the films.
Harry Potter's like crack.
Yes, a little bit.
Can you smoke?
Or crystal meth. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Let's talk about the new film that you're in, Goods.
Sure.
Because I understand that this film was incredibly hard to actually bring to the screen.
Yeah, well, it took about 8 years. You know, the reason it's very hard to raise money to make films like this is that most films are popcorn movies where I love being in them and I love watching them, but every now and again it's great to know that there are films out in the cinema that give you something to talk about at dinner or talk about the next day, or if you're really, really lucky, something to affect you in your daily life, to make you think about how you treat your mum or your dog or a stranger in the street, and that's what we hope this one is.
This is a very affecting film. It's not a popcorn movie by any stretch of the imagination. Let's have a look at a clip. The film is called Good.
Look, if you're really so pessimistic, why didn't you go abroad for a year or 2 until things settle down? There are many countries where you could practice. You've no ties here.
No ties. I was born here. I fought for this fucking country. I am as German as you. How dare you? Why should I leave? That's exactly what those bastards want. Sorry. You bastards.
He's great, isn't he? I'm a big fan of Viggo Mortensen.
He's not only a great actor, he's a really lovely man. We had to be best friends, and I couldn't be at rehearsals. I was shooting this television series in America, so he flew himself over and he hung out with me and my wife and kids. And he brought me a bunch of presents. He'd been on a little journey around Europe, a little kind of personal odyssey. Made it easy to like him.
So you've become good friends as a result of making this film?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jason, one word.
Yes.
Armageddon.
Oh, I loved that.
Do you really?
I had such an amazing time doing it.
I love that film.
I arrived there and everything was so... I tell you what, we shot at Cape Kennedy. Or was it Cape Canaveral? I think it's Cape Kennedy. And I went on the space shuttle and I met the people who'd been, not just to space on the shuttle, but been to the moon, these 4-star generals. And I said, "Can I ask you something?" And they went, yeah, sure. And I said, what, when you were up there and you were looking back at the Earth, does it make you think anything about the Earth's problems or that we should have one government? Or does it make you feel, because I know your life is shorter, your bones will age quicker, but do you feel that was a sacrifice worth making? And they went, yeah, maybe. And to me, more is tits real. I swear to God. And I went, what? I don't know. I haven't met her. Did you try our strip clubs? We've got amazing strip clubs. And I went... And then I realised they're just soldiers who went up in a tin can, but they're not any different from any other soldiers. Yeah.
You ended up playing the most intelligent man on the planet.
I did. It freaked me out. The first day I had a scene, I had to explain how we were going to save the planet. And Bruce Willis had come to visit the set, and the camera was quite a long way away. And I was chatting to Michael Bay, the director, about, I don't know what, and then I go over and he goes, action, and I do the scene. And there's a lot of people, because all of NASA's there. And suddenly Michael Bay... I don't know who's doing the sound. You better watch out. I'm going to shout. He's a shouter, Michael. And he goes, cut! What was that? And I'm like, I hope he's not talking to me. He goes, hey, Jason! What was that you just did? And I go, I was doing the scene. Is that all right? Did I do something wrong? He goes, is that theatre training? And I go, I don't know, was it too loud or what? And he goes, no, you're like talking to me like this skateboard guy. And I go, action, you're like this total fucking science geek. And I go, I don't know. That's acting, isn't it? What am I meant to do? And he goes, did you see that, Bruce? Bruce goes, yeah, Mike. So, yeah. And then he goes, and then he said, it's true. And then he said, hey, do we have you for the run of the picture? And I said, well, I've only got a few days now. I've got a few days and a few months, and I've got a week. And he goes, aren't you every day you're going to be here next to Billy Bob? We'll throw you a line occasionally. I want the English guy in every scene Billy Bob's in. I'm like, oh, great. So I'm standing behind Billy Bob Thornton throughout the film with, like, a clipboard or, you know, something, a gadget. And I never say anything. And then there's one scene where Billy Bob Thornton explains to all the astronauts how this thing is going to be pulled off. And I have 2 papier-mâché space shuttles on sticks behind there. And I'm the smartest man on the planet. And I do a little puppet show to show how it's going to work like that.
That film is, for me, it's textbook. It's like how to make a Hollywood blockbuster.
It worked for me. I mean, I've watched it and I find myself crying at all the moments when I should be, you know, throwing things at the screen. I thought it absolutely worked.
So you enjoy making films like that?
I loved all that. Yeah, I love all that stuff. I mean, I like making little films, don't get me wrong. I think that, you know, making good is important. It's important that there's a variety out there, and God knows as an actor I need to feed my soul a bit. And I've worked for BBC 4 and More 4 and done really interesting character pieces. But every now and then, it's just great to go to a set where they've got 84 flavours of Ben and Jerry for your breakfast, you know. It's just fantastic.
Well, Jason, good luck with the new film, Goods. It opened last Friday or this coming Friday?
It opened last Friday and it's kind of rolling out at art cinemas all over the country.
Well, all the very best. Thank you for coming on the show. Yeah. Jason Isaacs, everybody. Thanks to all of my guests.